Tom sat on a large rock near the edge of the sea. His fishing line dropped into the slow-moving water. The sky was cloudy but peaceful. Waves rolled gently against the shore. This place, far from the town, was quiet. It was his favorite spot. He came here almost every day after sunrise. He liked the sound of the water, the smell of salt in the air, and the way the ocean seemed endless. He didn't come just to catch fish. He came to think. He came to feel free. This morning, everything felt normal. But then the wind stopped completely. The trees near the coast froze in place. The birds above stopped singing. Even the water became still, like a giant sheet of glass. Tom blinked. He looked around. The world felt frozen, as if time had paused. Then he saw it. Far out in the sea, a small light began to glow under the water. It started faint, like a spark, but it grew brighter and brighter. The glow turned into a wide ripple. The water bubbled, and waves rolled outward in every direction. Tom stood up, confused and alert. His fishing pole dropped from his hands. He took a few steps back. Something large was rising from the sea. A smooth silver object slowly pushed out of the water. It was shaped like a long egg, with blue lights running across its surface. It made no sound. The water slid off it without a splash. It floated for a few seconds. Then a line split across its front. A hatch opened with a soft hiss. Inside was a girl. She floated just above the floor of the pod. Her skin was a soft shade of pale blue. Her hair, long and silver, flowed like it was still underwater. Her eyes glowed faintly, calm but distant. She looked young, maybe his age or a bit younger. She wore no armor, no weapons. Only a light robe made of some shiny, strange material. Tom froze. He had never seen anything like this. He didn't know if he should run or help. But something about her made him stay. She looked weak. Her arms trembled. She took one shaky step forward, then another. Her foot slipped on the edge of the pod. She fell forward. Tom rushed forward and caught her. Her body was cold, like sea water. But she was breathing, slow and steady. She opened her eyes again and looked at him. "Help," she whispered. Tom stared at her. Her voice was soft, but her eyes were serious. She was not afraid, just tired. She passed out in his arms. The light from the pod began to fade. The silver shell slowly sank back into the sea. Within seconds, it was gone, as if it had never been there. Tom looked around. Still no birds, no sound. The water slowly returned to its natural rhythm. Wind moved through the trees again. The spell was broken, but nothing felt normal anymore. He lifted the strange girl in his arms and carried her toward his small wooden boat. He had questions, many questions, but first, he had to make sure she was safe. He placed her gently on a soft cloth in the back of the boat. She didn't wake, but her breathing stayed calm. Her skin had started to warm slightly, like she was. Adjusting to the air. Tom rowed toward the shore, keeping his eyes on the sea behind him. He didn't know what he had just witnessed. A glowing pod, a girl from beneath the ocean, a voice asking for help. He reached the shore and pulled the boat up to the sand. The beach was still empty. No one else came this far out. That was Lucky. Carrying the girl over his shoulder, he followed a narrow trail through the trees. It led to his old cabin, hidden near the edge of the forest. It was small, made of wood and stone, built by his grandfather. He used it as a storage place and shelter when it rained. He opened the door and brought her inside. He laid her gently on a small bed covered with blankets. He took a towel and dried the seawater from her face and arms. For a while, he just sat there, watching her breathe. She looked peaceful. Her hair still shimmered in the low light. There was something about her that felt both strange and calm, like she didn't belong here, but didn't bring danger either. Suddenly, her hand moved. She opened her eyes again, slowly. This time, she seemed more aware. She looked around the room. Then at Tom. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice still weak. "You're safe," Tom said. "You were in some kind of machine. You fell. I brought you here." She sat up a little. "Thank you." Tom didn't know what else to say. He had no idea who she was or what to do next, but he knew one thing. This was no dream. This girl was real, and she had come from somewhere deep below the ocean, outside. The sun broke through the clouds for a brief moment. A thin beam of light touched the edge of the sea, and Tom realized his quiet days of fishing were over. Everything had changed. Tom sat on a small wooden chair inside the old cabin, staring at the strange girl on the bed. Her name was still a mystery to him, but she seemed calm now. Her skin no longer looked cold. Her eyes were open, watching the window as the trees moved. In the breeze, after a few minutes, she turned to him. "My name is Rena," she said slowly. Her voice quiet but clear. Tom nodded. "I'm Tom. You came from the sea." Rena took a deep breath. "Yes, I escaped." "Escaped from what?" Tom asked. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she looked around the small room. The wooden walls, the old lantern hanging near the door, the folded fishing nets in the corner. Everything was simple, but to her, it all seemed new. "I cannot stay long," she said. "They will follow me." Tom stood up. "Who's following you?" She looked straight into his eyes. "My father's enemy. He wants power. He will not stop. If he finds me, he will destroy this place." Tom didn't know what to say. He had lived in this area his whole life. Nothing like this had ever happened before. Now a girl from the sea was talking about enemies and danger. "What do they want?" he asked. "They want to rule both the deep and the surface," Rena replied. "The gate to our kingdom is broken. But there is another path. They are looking for it. If they find it, your world will not be safe." Tom stepped back and rubbed the back of his neck. "This is a lot to understand. I was just fishing." Rena gave a small smile. "I saw you. Before I came to the surface, you were calm. That's why I chose this place." Tom was surprised. "You saw me?" She nodded. "From the sea. We can watch, but only some of us are allowed. My people have stayed hidden for a long time." Tom sat down again. "Why come now?" "My kingdom was attacked," she said. "The leader of our army took control. He broke the laws of the sea. My father, the king, is gone. I took something they want. That's why they're chasing me." "What did you take?" Tom asked. Rena reached into a small silver pouch tied to her robe. She pulled out a small round stone. It glowed faintly with a soft blue light. "This is a part of the heart of the deep," she said. "It can open the true gate." Tom leaned forward, curious. "What does that mean?" "It means," Rena said, "if the wrong one uses it, they can break the balance. They can rise to the surface and take more than they need." Before Tom could ask more, a sharp sound came from outside. Rena stood up fast. "They're here." Tom moved to the window. Over the trees, he saw small black shapes flying in the sky. They were smooth, round machines, glowing with red lights. They made no loud noise, only a low hum. There were 5 of them, moving quickly over the trees. "They found me," Rena said. Tom ran to the back of the cabin and opened a small wooden chest. Inside was an old spear gun and a flare. He picked up both. "Can those things be stopped?" he asked. Rena stepped beside him. She held a small metal rod that had been hidden in her robe. She pressed a button, and it changed shape, forming a curved blade. "Yes," she said, "but only for a short time." The first drone dropped low, scanning the ground with a red beam. Tom rushed outside and fired the flare into the sky. It burst in bright white light. The drone stopped for a second, then turned toward the cabin. Rena ran out and raised her blade. A wave of water rose from the nearby shore and struck the drone hard. It sparked and dropped to the ground. Another drone moved in, shooting an arrow beam that burned through the air. Tom dodged and fired the spear. It hit the drone's side and pushed it off course. It crashed into a tree. More drones came closer. Rena spun and sent a sharp wind forward. 2 drones were knocked back into the trees. Tom picked up stones and threw them, aiming at their lights. 1 drone was hit directly and exploded in the air. The final drone hovered above the cabin. It scanned the ground again. Rena raised her hand, but nothing happened. She dropped to her knees, breathing hard. "I'm losing energy," she said. Tom ran to her side and helped her up. We need to hide. He led her down a path behind the cabin that went into the woods. The last drone fired once at the ground, then flew away. Maybe it lost their trail. Maybe it was going to call more. Tom brought Rena to an old cave near the cliff. It was dark but dry. He set down a lantern and sat beside her. Rena closed her eyes. I cannot fight for long on land. My power is from the ocean. Tom nodded. Then we need to move. Where is this gate you talked about? Rena looked at him. Her eyes tired but full of purpose. It is far below, a hidden path through the sea. But only a human can open it. Tom blinked. Me? She nodded. Long ago, our people made a bond with humans. That gate was locked by both sides. Now, only a surface dweller can open it again. Tom didn't know what to say. He had never left this coast. He had never swum in deep water. And now he was being asked to help stop a war below the sea. But he looked at Rena. She had risked everything to come here. She had trusted him. All. Right, he said. Tell me what I need to do. Rena gave a small nod. We begin at sunrise. Outside. The wind returned. The sea moved gently again. But above them, in the clouds, a red light flashed and then disappeared. Trouble was not far. The sun was rising. A soft golden light touched the surface of the sea. Tom stood near the edge of a rocky cliff, holding a thick rope in one hand and a waterproof bag in the other. Inside the bag were some tools, a light, food, and the small, glowing stone Rena had given him. He had no idea if it would help, but she told him to keep it close. Behind him, Rena walked slowly, her steps quiet on the damp rocks. Her energy was low, but she was stronger than yesterday. She had rested all night inside the cave. Now her eyes were sharp again. The silver lines on her arms glowed faintly in the morning light. Tom looked at the sea below. So the path is. Under that, Rena nodded. Beneath the waves, through a tunnel of stone, it leads to the deep gate. Tom checked the rope. It was tied tightly to a tree behind them. He wrapped it around his waist and handed one end to Rena. If we get pulled by the water, stay close to me, he said. She smiled. I will. They jumped together. The water was cold at first, then it turned strangely warm. The ocean around them shimmered with a blue-green glow. As they swam down, Tom saw strange shapes in the dark. Some looked like fish, others like glowing ribbons. None came close. It was quiet, peaceful, but also strange. They followed the glowing stone in Tom's bag. It pulled them downward, deeper than he had ever gone. His ears hurt at first, but Rena touched his neck, and the pain stopped. She whispered something in her own language. A warm feeling spread through his body, and he could breathe, somehow. She had shared her power with him. After many minutes, they reached a crack in a large rock wall. It looked like a cave, but inside was something more. The crack opened into a tunnel of smooth stone. Soft lights lined the walls. Strange symbols were carved everywhere, swirling like waves and stars. As they moved forward, the tunnel became wider. Water currents pushed gently from behind. Like the sea wanted them to continue, they reached a large round door made of silver and crystal. It was closed. Rena swam forward and touched the center of the door. A blue ring of light spread across it, but nothing opened. It needs your touch, she said. Looking at Tom, Tom swam closer and placed his hand on the same spot. The moment he touched it, the blue light grew stronger. The stone in his bag glowed brighter. The door began to turn. Slowly, with a low rumble, it opened inward. Beyond the door was something Tom never expected. A city dotted stretched far into the distance, glowing with light, buildings shaped like seashells, towers of glass and coral, bridges made of flowing water. Creatures moved through the streets, swimming calmly. Some looked human. Others looked like fish or light. The sky above was not sky, but a giant dome of clear water, filled with swimming lights and slow-moving whales. Rena smiled with pride. This is my home, the kingdom of Maruna. Tom floated beside her, speechless. They swam forward toward a tall building shaped like a spiral shell. It was the old palace, Rena said. It had been empty since her father disappeared. Now it was guarded by machines. They moved slowly, watching every corner. "We can't go through the front," Rena whispered. "We'll take the side path." They swam under a bridge and followed a narrow tunnel that led to a dark chamber. Inside was a round platform. In the center, Tom saw a glass pillar filled with blue light. Inside the light, something floated, a cube made of crystal. Rena placed her hand on the pillar. "This is the map of the kingdom. It shows every gate, every wall, every weak point. My father made it. Only I can use it." The cube spun. It showed a small red dot near the outer walls of the city. "They are already inside," Rena said. "The enemy." Tom looked at the cube. "Can they find the heart of the deep?" "Not yet," she said. "It's hidden in the sacred chamber, behind 3 locked gates. But if they get the second key, they'll break through." "What do we do?" Tom asked. Rena touched the side of the cube. A new path lit up. "There is a way," she said. "We must reach the heart first. If we awaken it with your touch, we can block the enemy forever." Tom nodded. "Then let's go." They moved quickly through the side tunnels, staying out of sight. Rena guided them past guards and scanners. She knew every path. They reached an old hallway made of clear stone. Fish swam above their heads. Lights moved through the floor like rivers. At the end of the hall was another silver door. This one was different. It had no symbols, only a single hand-shaped panel. Tom placed his hand on it. The door opened. Inside was a deep chamber. In the center stood a tall crystal tree. Its branches glowed with soft light. The roots reached into the floor, and in its core was a heart-shaped gem, pulsing slowly. Rena stepped forward. "This is the heart of the deep. It is alive. It feels truth, fear, and hope." Tom looked at it with wonder. "What do I do?" "Place your hand on the trunk," she said. "Let it know your purpose." Tom walked forward. He took a breath and placed his hand on the tree. At first, nothing happened. Then the light grew stronger. The water around them warmed. The tree pulsed with life. A beam of light shot into the air and spread across the chamber. Rena stepped back. "It has accepted you." Suddenly, an alarm echoed through the city. The red dot on the map was moving fast. The enemy had found them. "We're out of time," Rena said. "They will come here. We must protect the heart." Tom looked at the door. It began to close again, locking them inside with the heart. He picked up a crystal rod that lay on the floor. "Then we make our stand here." Rena smiled. Together, outside, the sea grew darker. The enemy was near. But now, the heart was awake, and hope was alive again. Dark shapes moved through the sea like shadows. Their lights were red, cold, and sharp. The enemy was coming. Tom stood with Rena in the crystal chamber. Behind them, the heart of the deep glowed brighter than ever before. It was awake now, pulsing with energy, but that also meant the enemy could find it more easily. Rena walked to the edge of the chamber. She held a long silver staff in both hands. Her hair floated around her like ribbons. Her face was calm, but her eyes were full of fire. "They will break through soon," she said. Tom looked around. The chamber had only one entrance, the door they came through. It was strong, but not enough to hold back machines forever. He gripped the crystal rod tighter. "We need a plan." Rena pointed toward a small side tunnel. "That leads to the outer ring. If we open the emergency flow gate, water from the upper levels will rush in. It might push them back. Will it hurt the heart?" Tom asked. "No," she said. "The chamber is protected, but we must time it right." A deep sound echoed through the stone. The door shook. From the other side, something was striking it again and again. Tom nodded. "Go to the flow gate. I'll hold this side." Rena hesitated. "You cannot face them alone." Tom smiled. "You gave me air to breathe under the sea. Now let me give you time." Rena placed her hand on his arm. "Be safe." Then she swam into the side tunnel. The door shook again. Harder this time. Cracks began to appear around the edge. A red light slipped through one of them. Tom stood in front of it, rod in hand, heart pounding. He had never fought anything like this before, but he wasn't afraid. The door broke open. A long, thin machine floated in. Its body was black metal, and his arms ended in sharp tools. Behind it, more came small drones and silver-eyed scouts. They moved with no sound, only the buzz of power. Tom struck first. He swung the rod hard, hitting the lead machine. It sparked and twisted back. The others rushed forward. He dodged to the side, blocked another strike, then hit again. A small drone circled him, scanning. He threw a piece of broken crystal at it. The drone exploded in a flash of blue. 2 more machines came in. They were faster. One grabbed his leg. The other aimed a glowing needle at his chest. Tom kicked free, rolled under them, and stabbed the rod into the wall. A burst of light shot through the chamber, knocking the machines back. The heart pulsed again. Its energy reacted to his touch. Tom used the moment to break another drone. But the others kept coming. More machines filled the chamber. Too many. Then a great wave crashed through the tunnel behind them. Water rushed in with force, pushing the enemy back. The machines hit the walls and broke into pieces. The stronger ones tried to hold on, but the water pulled them out of the chamber. Rena swam in behind the wave. Her staff was glowing. The flow gate is open. Tom smiled. Perfect timing. They floated in the silence for a moment. The water settled. The broken parts of the enemy machines drifted to the floor. But it wasn't over. A deep roar came from outside the chamber. The walls shook. The heart dimmed for a moment. Rena looked at Tom. He's coming. Who? Tom asked. Vorok, she said. The one who took my kingdom. Tom had heard the name before, but this was the first time he felt the fear in Rena's voice. We have to leave, she said. He will destroy everything to get the heart. Tom looked at the crystal tree. Can we take it with us? No, Rena said. But we can move the power. The heart will follow its chosen one. She reached out and touched the gem at the center. A small orb of light came out. It floated in front of her, then moved to Tom. It has chosen you, Rena said. The orb entered Tom's chest. He felt warmth, strength, and something else, a deep connection to the sea. He could hear distant waves, the hum of currents, even the voices of sea creatures. Then the roof cracked. A huge figure broke through the upper wall of the chamber. It was twice the size of the other machines. Its arms were shaped like blades. Its body glowed red. Vork had arrived. His voice came through a speaker. You ran far, princess. But this is the end. Rena stepped forward. This kingdom will never follow you. Vork raised his arm. A beam of red light shot toward them. Tom raised his hand. The orb inside him reacted. A blue shield formed in front of them, blocking the beam. Vork growled. So the heart has bonded with the surface boy. No matter. I will crush him first. He rushed forward, blades spinning. The water around him turned hot. Tom met him in the center. The rod in his hand glowed brighter. Each strike sent sparks through the water. Rena moved beside him, her staff cutting through the red light. The fight shook the chamber. Walls cracked, stones fell. But Tom and Rena did not fall back. Tom struck. With the power of the heart, Vork's blade snapped. Rena slammed her staff into his chest. Sparks flew. Together, they forced him back toward the wall. A final strike from both sides hit his core. Vork screamed. His body shook. Then he exploded in a flash of red. The chamber felt quiet again. Tom floated. Breathing hard, Rena swam to him. It's done, she said. Tom looked around. The chamber was damaged but still standing. The heart pulsed gently from within him. Outside the chamber, lights began to return to the city. The enemy machines were gone. Peace had come, but they knew it would not last forever. Come, Rena said. The kingdom needs us. Tom followed her through the tunnel. He had come here by chance, just a man with a fishing rod. But now he carried something far greater, the power of the deep, and the hope of a lost world. The sea was calm once again. Light moved gently through the waters above the broken chamber. Vork was gone. The enemy machines had stopped. The kingdom of Maruna was safe for now. Tom and Rena floated just outside the heart chamber. The glowing orb that once rested in the crystal tree now lived inside Tom. It pulsed gently, as if breathing with him. He could still feel its presence, strong and warm. Rena looked at the blue light in his chest. The heart trusts you, she said. Tom nodded. What happens now? Rena pointed to the distant towers. We go deeper, to the sacred hall. My people are trapped there. If we can reach them, they will rise again. The kingdom can heal. Tom took a deep breath, though the water around him didn't need it. Since Rena had shared her power, he could breathe underwater without trouble. He was part of this world now, at least for a while. They swam past wide streets made of smooth glass and coral. Some buildings were broken, their windows shattered. Others still glowed with soft blue light. The city had suffered during Orcs' rule, but life remained. Strange fish swam through open halls. Sea plants moved like they were waving to the travelers. Tom looked around in wonder, but Rena stayed focused. She led him to a spiral tunnel made of living stone. The walls shimmered, and symbols appeared as they passed. The tunnel led downward, deeper than any part of the kingdom Tom had seen. As they swam, Rena spoke quietly. This tunnel was built before my time. My father said it was carved by sea giants who once lived near the core of the earth. It leads to the sacred hall, where the royal bond was first formed between my people and humans. Tom raised an eyebrow. Humans? You mean from the surface? Yes, she said. Long ago, before records were lost, a group of surface dwellers found the entrance to our world. They helped stop a great war between ocean tribes. In return, the gate was sealed using both ocean magic and human touch. Tom looked down at his hand. That's why I can open it now. Rena nodded. You are the first human to be chosen by the heart since the bond was made. They continued through the glowing tunnel until it opened into a wide cavern. The roof was high, covered in crystals that shone like stars. Below them was a massive stone gate with carvings of sea creatures and waves, but something blocked their path. A large sea creature floated in front of the gate. Its body was long, with glowing eyes and thick armored skin. Metal parts were attached to its back. It had been turned into a guard machine by Vork's army, Rena whispered. This was once a protector of the kingdom. Now it serves only command. Signals. It won't let us pass. Tom looked at the creature. It moved slowly, but watched them closely. Can we go round it? He asked. No, Rena said. Only through. Tom stepped forward. The orb in his chest glowed brighter. The creature turned its head. For a moment, nothing happened. Then it roared. The creature rushed toward them, its tail whipping the water. Rena moved to the side. Dodging quickly, she raised her staff and sent a wave of force toward the beast. It slowed the creature, but didn't stop it. Tom charged forward. He wasn't fast, but the orb guided him. The creature swung at him with one massive fin, but Tom blocked it with a shield made of light. He was surprised by his own strength. Rena struck again. This time, the light from her staff struck the metal part on the beast's back. Sparks flew. The creature screamed in pain. It's still part machine, she said. If we break the control link, it might return to peace. Tom swam under the creature and saw the glowing red device connected to its spine. He pulled the rod from his side and aimed carefully. The creature turned, roaring again. Tom pushed forward and struck the device with all his strength. The rod sank deep into the metal. A flash of light spread through the water. The creature stopped moving. It froze in place, then slowly lowered its body to the stone floor. Its eyes changed from red to green. Rena swam close and placed a hand on its side. The creature looked at her. Calm now. You're free, she whispered. It gave a soft cry, then swam away into the darkness. Tom looked at the gate ahead. Is it open? Rena smiled. Not yet, but now it can be. They reached the ancient stone gate. Symbols on its surface glowed as Tom approached. He placed his hand on the center. The orb in his chest sent out a pulse of light. The gate shook, then began to move. The two halves opened slowly, revealing a great hall inside. The sacred hall was beautiful. Columns of crystal reached from floor to ceiling. Statues of sea kings and queens lined the walls. In the center, behind a wide circle of coral, were dozens of ocean people trapped behind a shimmering barrier. Tom stepped inside. The moment he did, the barrier disappeared. The people inside looked up. They were thin and weak but still alive. Rena swam forward. You are safe now. The heart has returned. Vork is gone. One of the older guards stood up. He had silver hair and a deep scar on his cheek. Princess Rena, we thought you were lost. She shook her head. I escaped. With help. She turned and pointed to Tom. This is Tom, a surface dweller. But he is also the one chosen by the heart. Without him, we would not be here. Tom looked down, a bit shy. The ocean people bowed their heads to him. The guard spoke again. Then the bond is returned. The kingdom may rise again. Rena nodded. Yes, but first, we must return to the heart chamber. There, we will send a signal to all parts of Maruna. Our people must know it is safe. Tom looked around at the faces of the rescued people. There was hope in their eyes now. Let's go, he said. We're not done yet. The journey was far from over, but Tom knew now that he had a place in this world deep beneath the sea, where light and life still survived. Tom swam behind Rena as they left the sacred hall. The rescued ocean people followed in silence. Some looked weak. Others helped carry those who could not swim alone. The lights in the crystal columns dimmed behind them as the gates closed again. The heart inside Tom's chest was glowing stronger now. With every beat, he could feel a deeper connection to the kingdom. It was like the city was waking up with him. Rena stopped near a tall tower made of spiral stone. This is the Tower of Echo. She said, from here, we will send the signal to all parts of Maruna. The others will hear us. They will know the enemy is gone. Tom looked up at the tower. It stood in the center of the city like a lighthouse, pointing toward the surface. The top shimmered with floating lights. We have to climb it, he asked. No. Rena smiled. We rise through it. She placed her hand on the stone. It opened like a flower. A soft stream of water pulled them upward, lifting their bodies gently inside. The tower was quiet. Symbols on the walls lit up as they passed. Tom could hear soft sounds, like whispers. It was as if the tower remembered the voices of the kingdoms. Past Dot at the top, they entered a large chamber with a floating platform in the center. Strange shapes floated in the air, like jellyfish made of light. In the middle was a circular mirror with ocean symbols around it. Rena swam to it and turned to Tom. This is the Kingdom Echo. It sends our message to every part of Maruna, even the far caves and hidden lakes. Tom nodded. What do I do? You. Place your hand here. She pointed to a shape on the mirror. The heart will do the rest. Tom moved forward slowly. He was nervous. So much had changed since that quiet morning on his fishing boat. Now, deep under the sea, he stood in front of a mirror that could wake an entire world. He placed his hand on the mirror. The glow from the heart spread across the glass like water. Lights danced across the walls. The jellyfish like light spun. Faster. A deep hum filled the room. Then the mirror spoke. It didn't speak with words. Instead, it sent waves of feeling and light hope, safety, freedom. Every living part of the city received the call. Deep tunnels filled with light, caves opened, sleeping halls lit up. Far away, hidden gates unlocked. Ocean people in exile lifted their heads and turned toward the center of the city. The kingdom had called them home. Rena smiled. They heard it. The guard with silver hair, whose name was Darrow, swam into the room. Princess, the Southern. Reefus responded. Our warriors are alive. They are returning. Another woman entered. She was tall, with dark green fins and golden eyes, and the healers from the moon caves are on their way. We are not alone anymore. Rena turned to Tom. This was your doing. Tom shook his head. I didn't do it alone. She placed a hand on his shoulder. Even so, you are the one who made the heart choose again. You reminded us of what we forgot. Darrow nodded. The bond between surface and sea. We broke it long ago, but now it lives again. Just then, a tremor shook the tower. The water shifted around them. Tom looked at Rena. What was that? Rena frowned. Something large just entered the border. Something not part of our world. Outside the tower, in the far part of the sea, a new shape appeared. It was a giant black ship, long like a sea snake and covered in spikes. It had no windows, only metal plates and glowing engines. Darrow raised his weapon. That is not one of ours. Rena narrowed her eyes. No, that is a raider ship. Tom swam to the window. The ship had stopped near the broken edge of the city, where Vork had first entered. Strange dark machines poured out of it, swimming through the water like shadow eels. They're scanning the ruins, Tom said. Looking for something. Rena's voice was firm. They want the heart. They followed the energy signal. Daryl looked around. What should we do, Princess? Rena looked at Tom. We protect the heart. We protect each other. Tom nodded. Let's finish this. They gathered in the lower hall of the tower. Warriors from across the city were returning now. Some held blades shaped like coral. Others used light spears. The people who had once been lost were now ready to fight. Tom held the rod Rena had given him. It hummed with power. We won't let them take this place, he said. The ocean people formed a wide line in front of the tower. The raiders moved closer. Their machines were faster than fish and sharper than sharks, but they had never fought. In a kingdom that had found its hope again. As the enemy reached the city edge, Rena raised her staff. This is our home. Let them feel the strength of the sea. The first wave hit, and the battle began. Tom moved with purpose. The heart guided his steps. He blocked one machine with his shield of light and struck another with a wave of energy. Rena fought beside him, her power flowing like music in the water. The raiders were many, but they were not ready for a city reborn. Every ocean person fought with pride. They were not just defending a place, they were defending their future. Tom saw a large raider machine charging toward the tower. It was carrying something that looked like a bomb. He swam as fast as he could and met it head-on. The light from the heart pulsed. The machine broke apart in a flash. Darrow and the others held the left side. Rena pushed forward through the center. The mirror in the tower glowed brighter, sending strength through the city. Tom fought until he could not count the enemies, but he never stopped moving. Finally, after what felt like hours, the last machine fell. The water was quiet again. The raider ship, seeing its forces defeated, turned and disappeared into the deep. Rena floated next to Tom. Her eyes were tired, but her voice was strong. They are gone. For now. Tom looked at the others gathering around, faces filled with hope, strength, and unity. You've got your kingdom back, he said. Rena smiled. We got it back, together. The war was not fully over, but the city had won its soul again. The battle was over. The Dark Raider ship had fled into the deep ocean. Pieces of broken machines floated in the water like dead leaves. The people of Maruna had won. The heart of the sea was safe. Tom sat on the edge of a glowing platform with Rena beside him. Around them, the people of the ocean worked together. Some cleaned the damage in the city. Others helped the wounded. Children who had hidden during the fight now played freely. The kingdom was alive again. Tom looked at the shining walls, the tall towers, the blue light moving like breath through the city. It's beautiful, he said. Rena smiled. It was always beautiful. We just forgot how to see it. She stood and looked at the sky window above them, where the surface light glimmered faintly. You should go back now. Your people may be searching for you. Tom felt his heart sink. He didn't want to leave, not after everything they had faced together. But he knew she was right. Will I ever see this place again? He asked. Rena gave him a gentle look. The ocean remembers those who respect it. The heart is part of you now. If you truly listen, it will guide you back. Darrow came swimming with a small box in his hands. He opened it and held it out to Tom. Inside was a stone shaped like a drop of water, glowing softly. This is a piece of the old heart, Darrow said. Long ago, our warriors carried it when they traveled far from the kingdom. Now, it belongs to you. Tom took it with both hands. The stone was warm, like it had a pulse of its own. Rena placed her hand on his. You are part of Maruna now, no matter where you go. Tom looked around one last time. The city, the people, the towers of coral and crystal. It was hard to say goodbye, but deep down, he felt calm. He had done what was needed. He swam with Rena toward the sky window, the same one he had fallen through when he first arrived. The ocean above glowed with sunlight. At the edge, he paused and turned to her. You'll be okay? She nodded. We have hope again. That's more than we had before." Tom gave her a small wave. Then he pushed upward, rising through the warm water, passing schools of fish and rising bubbles. He broke through the surface and gasped for air. The sky was blue. His fishing boat was still there. Rocking gently on the waves, Tom climbed aboard, dripping wet, eyes wide, heart still beating. Fast, everything looked the same, but it felt different. The old radio crackled. "Tom, do you copy? Where are you? You've been gone for hours." He picked it up slowly. "I'm here. I'm fine. Just got caught in something strange." "Strange?" The voice laughed. "You always find something strange." Tom smiled. "Yeah, this one was special." He looked down at the glowing stone in his hand. The light was still there, soft and calm. Later that evening, Tom sat on the dock, feet in the water. The sky turned orange and gold. The waves lapped gently against the wood dot in the distance. A single dolphin leapt into the air, then dove back in. Tom smiled. He felt the ocean calling to him, not with words, but with feeling. At night, he placed the stone beside his bed. It glowed faintly, like a small moon. Days passed, then weeks. Tom went fishing like before, but now he always looked a little deeper into the sea. He saw things others missed, glows in the coral, shadows that moved with meaning. And sometimes, when the water was very calm, he heard a soft song from below. One morning, Tom saw something new on the shore, a message written in shells and seaweed. It wasn't in human language, but he understood it. It was Rena's voice, calling from the deep. He picked up the stone, which now pulsed brightly. The connection had not broken. He jumped into the water, without fear, letting the current pull him down. He didn't know what waited this time, but he trusted the sea. The ocean had become more than water. It had become a second home. And Tom, the man who was just fishing, had become something more.